let's go ahead and start. Ooh, that's exciting. Apparently, I'm not clicking on this. Okay. That was exciting indeed. So we're just going to go through this real quick here. The 3.4 Cepheus update includes major changes to subjugation and vassalization systems, including negotiation of agreement terms and introducing loyalty as a resource. Planetary and sector automation have been unified under one improved system with more options to give you control over what kinds of developments are automated. And deficits and revolts now use a dedicated situation system that support progressing effects as they build up over time. The Overlord DLC itself includes advanced specialized subjects, 5 new origins, 3 new enclaves, and constructions like the Orbital Ring, Quantum Catapult, and Hyper Relay Network that help you enact your grand design for the galaxy. The brightest star must guide them. Shouldn't that be you? Indeed. So we're going to take a quick look at the full patch notes here pretty soon. I am noticing that apparently chat is helpfully broken as usual. And I think the reason for that is if I go into here, I think it's because I changed the height of it and wasn't able to test it without people who were actually chatting. So that usually helps. You can't do chat display in private streams, so most of these fixes are already done, but let's see about changing this a bit here. If I change this crop to 0, it'll probably show up. Yes. Okay. So that's exciting. So I think the reason why that's not showing up is because it's cropping from the top. Yeah. So we should have this be like something along the lines of this. There, that seems about right. Excellent. So I have a different chat location for every single game that we're going to be playing here. Oh, and I still have Stellaris muted. I should probably fix that too. Fantastic. Let's see. There we go. Wonderful. All is proceeding according to plan. So we're going to hop over here real quick into Steam. If I switch to display capture, which is on the wrong monitor, but we expect that because... Oh, no, it's just scaled badly. Okay. Exciting stuff. Let me just remove that. Okay, we'll just not go over it quite the way I planned to. I'm just going to do a quick overview of what's included in the actual Overlord DLC, since we've talked about the free patch already a little bit. The Overlord DLC includes vassal specializations, holdings, new enclaves, megastructures, new origins as well. So that's not a huge number of changes, although changing the vassals is... oh yeah, the test stream was indeed incredibly exciting. And by exciting, I mean entirely broken. But I think I have all of those problems fixed, so now we can discover ourselves some exciting new problems. Always great. So yeah, the vassal specializations, like overall vassalization has been drastically changed, right? Holdings are buildings that are owned by the Overlord but are established on a subject's planet. Overlord comes with a plethora of additional holding building options, as well as the ability to build multiple holdings in a single vassal's space. So that's definitely very, very interesting. So to that end, we should probably try to create ourselves a bit of an empire that can test out these changes, right? Where the goal is to like vassalize other empires. That's probably going to be an important sort of thing. So let's go ahead and hop into a new game here. And this is the Democratic Association of the Majority of the Picklings. I don't think we need to play that again. We're done with that one for now. So we're going to create ourselves a new empire here. And what are we going to create? Well, this is what we got by default, and that is rather boring. So we're probably going to go for something else entirely. Now, it doesn't have anything... Well, actually, I want to look... What are the new origins that comes with this? Imperial Fiefdom, Teachers of the Shroud, Slingshot to the Stars, Subterranean, and Progenitor Hive. So those are all of the new origins. Let's go ahead and take a look at those real quick. So, are these alphabetical, or are they all at the bottom here? These are all the new ones down here. So these 5 are the new ones. Progenitor Hive. This hive has gained evolutionary advantage through semi-independent leaders. These offspring greatly improve overall proficiency, though they require constant oversight. So they employ special offspring leaders who gain XP passively. That's interesting. Passive XP gain there. Overlord sounds very Crusader Kings. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. It hasn't popped in over here yet. There it is. This will be, the chat box position here will be a lot better once we start the actual game. It's blocking a little bit here, but we'll get that done soon. So, replaces spawning pools with offspring nests, granting a powerful defensive army and improvements to menial drones. Allows the building of offspring nests on subject worlds, can release sectors as subjects. Wait, couldn't everybody do that before? I'm pretty sure everyone could release sectors as subjects previously. Although there wasn't really a lot of reason to do that, so maybe not so much. We can also construct offspring ships to improve the combat effectiveness of other nearby ships. Fleets without an offspring ship suffer from the following effects. Minus 50% to sublight speed, evasion, ship fire rate, and accuracy. That's insane. That is really bad if you don't have that. Okay. So I wonder if that also happens if your offspring ship is lost in battle. Do you immediately get that penalty? I don't know. It requires having the hive mind authority. So that's the Progenitor Hive. The Subterranean Origin. Whether avoiding predators or seeking easier access to resources, this species has evolved to live under the surface of their homeworld, leading to a more environmentally versatile society. They start with the cave dweller trait. They can construct cities underground, leading to a 10% increase in building and district costs and minus 10% build speed. But minus 75% damage from orbital bombardment. I mean, that's neat if you're planning on getting orbital bombarded, but the correct solution there is don't get orbital bombarded? I'm not sure how important that really is. Like, if you're getting orbital bombarded, you probably have other problems. Mining districts are uncapped. Adding +2 housing in every 3 mining districts grants a building slot. That's pretty powerful, actually. That is pretty powerful. Requires that you do not have the machine intelligence authority. So Slingshot to the Stars would be next. Offspring ships sound like the Knights and Crusader Kings. I mean, a little bit, but like more so, right? Like, Knights provide huge buffs, it's true. But you can still win things without it. But that 50% malice across the board? Yikes. Absolute yikes. So Slingshot to the Stars. The skies above this civilization were illuminated by shooting stars. Then came a long season of darkness. Since then, they've taken to the heavens seeking answers, beginning with what turned out to be a dormant and abandoned quantum catapult. Start with a ruined quantum catapult near your home system and the technology necessary to repair and use it. Now, I'm not sure what exactly a ruined quantum catapult does. I think that's one of the new mega structures, which we haven't really looked at yet. Let me check here. Yes, Quantum Catapult allows its owner to fire select fleets across the galaxy. Be warned that this process isn't guaranteed, and sending multiple fleets can result in your forces spread across a sector, or even in uncharted or closed space, rather than orbiting your enemy's homeworld as you intended. Okay, so the idea behind that is that's kind of like the that station at the beginning of Star Trek Voyager that plucked them out of the Alpha Quadrant. It's kind of along those lines. Interesting. It'll occupy a guaranteed habitable world slot, so you give up a guaranteed habitable world for that. New starbases built in remote systems cost 75% less influence. I mean, that's really strong. That is incredibly strong. But that would be specifically for ones that don't border your empire. So that's interesting. That would be a really weird playstyle. Especially since pre-Gateway, you'd be reliant on the Quantum Catapult to defend it in combat. Oh my. Like, post-Gateway, this wouldn't be so bad. But pre-Gateway, ooh. Teachers of the Shroud. Long before their first steps onto the galactic stage, this civilization has been supported and shaped by a Shroud Walker coven. So they gained the latent psionics from the beginning. Granted ability to build a Shroud beacon on, I think that's a starbase. It's kind of clipped there, but I think that's a starbase. And they start in contact with a Shroud Walker enclave. There's no actual requirements for Slingshot to the Stars. Anyone can be that. That's interesting. But for Teachers of the Shroud, you cannot be Spiritualist. Oh, you have to be Spiritualist or Fanatic Spiritualist. And you have to be Biological or Lithoid. Interesting that rocks can be teachers of the Shroud, but okay. I'm not quite sure where they're coming from with that one. But Imperial Fiefdom. Our first endeavor beyond our home planet was a painful one, subjugated by, and subjected to, the whims of a foreign galactic power. Now we're looking towards the future, far off as it might be, in which we no longer have to live in the shadow of another empire. So you start off as a vassal of an advanced AI empire, and you gain the option to choose a specialist empire vassal type at the start of the game. You cannot have Inward Perfection, Fanatic Purifiers, Devouring Storm, Driven Assimilator, or Determined Exterminator. Okay, well that's exciting. Speaking of exciting, the chat is slightly misaligned. Let me adjust that a bit here. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted at all. Exciting. Let me just raise that up slightly, I think. So, like... Nope, other way. Not quite that much. There, that's a little better. Wonderful. That'll get adjusted for a little bit here, but I'll get used to having that where I want to be soon enough. Imperial Fiefdom is very strong. I believe it, honestly. You start as a vassal of an advanced AI empire, and so you will not have to worry much about, like, being protected. And you can become a specialist empire vassal type at the start of the game, so you can specialize kind of however you want. I kind of wonder, like, that kind of depends on how encapsulated in the empire you are, right? I'm assuming you're going to be at the borders, so you can still expand. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, for sure. So, I'm not sure which one of these we want to go with. What do you guys think? Let me know. There's a bit of delay here, but we'll see. So for now, we can just grab something, like, kind of at random here. It doesn't really matter what we want to do. Can we try an Arid World start? Yeah, that's something that we can do. Absolutely. We can go into the name and class here, and we can go for an Arid World. Let's see, that's desert. This one's arid. There we go. We can just go with Old Albania. Sure. That would work just fine. Yeah, we're definitely having a, like, chat box overflow issue here. I was hoping that that was fixed, but I need to remember how exactly I had solved that previously. I think the answer to that was that I just cropped bits off of this. Well, actually, I think the issue is simply that... I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that's the crop there. So that's going to be anchored from the top. Right. That's close. Okay. Yeah, something like that, but now it's anchored from the top, and I don't like that. Let me see if that's an option in here. Because now I'm expecting additional chats to not appear here, so that's exciting stuff. So yeah, I need to remember how I changed that previously. Subterranean rock people. Yeah, I like that idea. That's an interesting concept. I mean, there's a lot of penalties for that. Subterranean origin. Yep, people are definitely going for subterranean. Let me get this chat box aligned here a bit. If I do something like this, perhaps. And then crop off like this. Nope. I've completely forgotten how I do this. Exciting. We reset it like that, and things are then immediately broken. So let me swap back to what it was originally, and let me copy that transform. And paste the transform. And now that breaks it again, which was expected. Edit that to be something along the lines of... Yeah, that's over here now. I wanted this to be here. And then crop off of the top. Like that. The problem here that I'm having is it's filling in from the top here. So it's not putting in the new messages where I want it to. It's filling in from the top and going that way. So I think what I need to do is change the overall height here. Yeah, that changes the size of the font, which isn't what I want. Let's see. Definitely not. That just changes the alignment of the actual box. I've completely forgotten how I fixed this previously. Excellent. Okay. So we'll bring this to, like, here for now. Okay, so you guys want to see Subterranean Rockies. I will get back to the chat here in a moment here, but let's get that fixed later. So you want to be, let's see, Lithoid, and we can choose any of these that we want. I don't know if we have any preferences here, but we've played as these guys previously, so I'd like to avoid that one. Let's see. That was the one we did in our Lithoids playthrough. I don't know, maybe these guys. Wait, I'm not sure I'd call this a Lithoid. Maybe this one, sure. And this one. But this one looks more reptilian to me than actually, like, rock-based. This one's fair enough. It's definitely got some minerals there. That's a pretty spectacular eyeball rock. I like it. Actually, let's go with the eyeball rock. That sounds great. So we go with that. Will be the Shapa, apparently. Cool. So for our name lists, we are definitely going to go with a Lithoid name list here. Do I like any of these best? Kind of, maybe Lithoid 2? Lithoid 2 or Lithoid 4, probably. We'll go with, I think we did this previously, so I think we'll do Lithoid 2. Cool. So Subterranean Origin, and I don't think we really talked about what kind of traits we would be doing here. What do you guys think about that? I mean, obviously we're already Lithoid, which means we consume minerals instead of food, and it reduces our pop growth speed, but our habitability is up by 50%, as well as our army health and our later lifespan. That's pretty solid. I usually like to go for things like natural physicists, but that's not really very thematic here. That's for sure. Scintillating skin is a pretty good one. And since we're going to be consuming minerals instead of food, it definitely makes sense to do something along the lines of strong for pop resource output, or perhaps even, where was it? Wasn't there a trait here that increased mining specifically? I think there was. I know strong helps with that, like very strong gives 5%, 2.5% from strong. Industrious, go hard into. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, minerals from jobs. You're right. Industrious. Thank you. So industrious is absolutely a good call here. That is absolutely the way to go. So we'll go for that. And city appearances, we're probably just going to go with the Lithoid city. I don't think there's any new city appearances in this particular patch. So we'll go for that. And you guys wanted Subterranean. Okay. This mining districts being uncapped is really handy for Lithoids. That is absolutely true. Government and ethics. What do you guys think about that? We haven't really, we're not really locked into anything here. Subterranean has, the only thing you can't be is a machine intelligence, right? So what do we want to do for ethics, authority, and civics? Let me know on that one, and in the meantime, I'll try to see if I can remember how to get this chat working a little more properly. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure it's in the transform here. Pretty sure that I had that fixed from here. If we do this, then that moves that up, and then we crop it differently. I think that's what it was. So like this would be 950 from the top and then like 150 from the bottom, but then it's just taking the overall page. Yikes. Okay. Well, that's certainly exceptional. So yeah, see, it's just, if I turn off the crop entirely, the problem is it's taking the entire page and taking it from here. So once the chat gets to here, it would start working, because this would start scrolling here. But I think the problem is simply that I just need to reduce the size. So I'll just take this up to like 1280 by 1280, like this. And then maybe even take the height to like 640? That squishes it. But what if I scaled it differently? These scales are all awful. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, those are all terrible. So we're going to need this to be like a complete square. Like that. But actually, this does have to be a 2-to-1 ratio, doesn't it? So that would need to be like this, and then we would need to bring that up. So more like that. Yeah, that's a better size. Okay. And then we crop off the bottom for sure. And then we crop off the top. I mean, at this point, we could make it be something like this, and eventually chat will show up. This is something I'm going to have to fix, I think, after this stream overall. So chat will start showing up here in a little bit. I think that's going to be what we're going to have to go for there. So as far as ethics, authority, and civics go, I think we may not have caught up quite yet in the stream delay. We'll see. For now, we'll move on, and advisor voice, we're just going to go with the lithoid. Militaristic. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's fine. So militaristic, that's an interesting, I mean, we knew that we're going to want to go something fairly militaristic, right? Because we want to vassalize, just to test that out. So we could go for like fanatic militarist or regular militarist. That is definitely something that we could do. That is a good option. In fact, a quite good option. So yeah, that is definitely something that we can do there. Let's see. Yeah, we can do something kind of like this. Sorry, I'm back to fixing the chat box. I can't help myself. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a lot better. So we can do like a 150 crop here, and then we can just bring this on down. And then this crop would need to be like 125. Yeah, this is much better. This is much better. Mining guilds. Yeah, I like that idea. That's obviously a good idea. Mining guilds. So we will go ahead and grab that. And we have one more civic pick left. Okay, let's see. Other options. Warrior culture wouldn't be terrible. Replacing entertainers with duelists. Reanimators, like reanimated rocks. That would be weird. Pleasure seekers is probably not what we'd go for. I think that's pretty clear. Merchant guilds, memorialists, masterful crafters. That might not be awful. Artificers produce consumer goods and trade value and engineering research. That wouldn't be terrible. I absolutely agree that mining guilds would be good. Cutthroat politics, edicts upkeep, minus 20%. That's pretty good too, but ultimately, I'm kind of leaning towards masterful crafters. Something kind of like this. Although, I have to say, this being militaristic is kind of at odds. So there is that. We could have this be... I mean, we probably don't really care too much what our authority is. We could go Imperial for the max influence from power projection, +1. That, of course, means that we have to have ships. Dictatorial empire size effect is pretty good, too. Faction unity gain, Automatic resettlement chance is pretty decent. So yeah, that's definitely something that we can think about. Absolutely. Yeah, you think warrior culture would make sense? Yeah, I'm tending to think that that would be better. Like, in terms of sheer numbers, I like the concept of masterful crafters over warrior culture, right? But we're really not trying to... we're really not trying to make something that's min-maxed here. So I think that's good. Not very familiar with Stellaris. What is a lithoid supposed to be? A living rock. Essentially, that's what it is. You are a rock, and you are sentient. And it is awesome. You rock. That's how that works. So we could be just a regular militarist, and then beyond that, we have 2 ethic points left. I mean, we've got mining guilds here, which does mean that materialist might not be the worst thing, especially since that just has the 10% flat research speed. I feel like that's really, really good. Like, incredibly good. That didn't used to have a flat 10% research speed on it. That used to be engineering research speed increase, if I recall correctly. Ship fire rate from Fanatic Militarist is good too. In fact, they've definitely buffed all of these Fanatic buffs. The Fanatics are much better now, because it used to be that you could go for, you know, something like this and be kind of middle of the road. Absolutely not the case anymore. I would not recommend this. Fascinating. The year is 2025. The June 4th, 2022 stream has yet to finish. Atreides and his loyal viewers have been attempting to troubleshoot the chat box for the past 3 years. The stream has reached 30 million viewers. Success is finally reached. Everyone collapses. The world implodes. I love it. That's a great story. That is absolutely amazing. I'm relatively content with the chat box, but I do need to adjust it one more time here. We are going to bring this down by like 5 pixels. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm happy with that now. Fanatic Materialist, I agree. I absolutely agree. Go Fanatic Materialist here is, I think, the way to go. That research speed is really hard to pass up. So we're going to continue here. We're just going to go with the based on government advisor type, which will be the, well, this voice. The Lithoid voice. That'll be fine. Our empire will be the Imperium of Alvis. I don't know how much Imperium we're going to be doing, but we can proceed here. We can go with any flag that we want pretty much here. There are specific lithoid designs here. I kind of like this hex design because it's like the sections of the empire or something. That's kind of neat. I usually like to go with a somewhat lighter primary color, like a blue or a green. I find it stands out nicely against the black background. So I'll probably go for something like that. Actually, this is pretty good as is. Maybe a bit darker on the green. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. The thing I don't like about it is the sharp corner here. If this was rounded, I feel like that would be better. I think we can do that, can't we? Let's see. We are currently on... this is having that same issue that it did where it doesn't want to let me scroll because of the UI scaling. That's just a UI scaling bug, not a big deal there. We could go for like this one. Wait, that is the one that we're on. Okay. I was going to say... If this had rounded corners, that would be kind of perfect. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. This one I like a lot less. This one's not awful. This one's pretty decent. But I don't like the fact that the blue is not visible on this side. I feel like I'm being super picky about this, and I'm usually not. I don't know. That's strange. Well, let's just grab something here. It doesn't matter that much. We could just grab this. I mean, ultimately, I think I'm leaning towards having it be what it was originally, which was one of these. Where are you? This one. I do like this. I just wish that these corners were rounded here. That's the only thing. So let's go ahead and go for this. You're lagging both in stream and lore knowledge. Is the stream lagging? I'm not seeing any issues on this end. For now, we're going to go for the lithoid ships. These are the, this is the Corvette here. And this would be the Destroyer, the Cruiser, the Battleship, the Titan, and the Construction Ship, and the Colony Ship, and the Science Ship. They're very rocky. Ooh, the Citadel. The highest upgradable level of a starbase. Yes, so that's the Citadel there. That's the Colossus. That's the Juggernaut. Cool. So there we go. We need a name for our ruler. I guess we're going with Eerie de Zirconal. Okay. That'll be just fine. And I think we're good to go. We've got our trait points good to go. You're not lagging? Okay, excellent. We are, of course, industrious. We are lithoid cave dwellers. And let's do this. We're going to be in a random solar system. Yeah, this is all just going. Let's just save this and be done with it. So we're just going to reset this back to default here. Okay, just joking. Sounds good. Let's reset this back to default. I suppose for the purposes of the stream, we could play Iron Man. There's no reason why we can't do that. I usually like to play on the absolute max difficulty, Grand Admiral. However, I find scaling difficulty actually quite fun because it starts with the AI not scaling up as quickly, but as you get further into the game, the AI gets more and more difficult. And I find that just makes the game a little bit more fun and makes it less like the less like the Aquatics game where we just got attacked a million times in the early game. I mean, we ended up winning, but it's less like that. So, I mean, otherwise, I think we're going to leave this pretty much at default for right now. No real problem here, and let's go ahead and play. Imperium of Alvis, Subterranean. We are born from the very depths of Old Alvania. Away from the harsh glare of starlight, our evolutionary path diverged from that of our immobile cousins, who remain like sentinels above and around us. Unlike them, we gained the ability to move, think, and form a civilization. Easy access to the minerals below ground allowed our Shapan predecessors to industrialize, unifying our species and furthering our cavernous civilization. There were numerous attempts to return to the surface, but each time it proved brutal and unforgiving. So we remained below, establishing our dominance from within our planet's very foundations. Now, with the discovery of the hyperdrive, we make our boldest attempt yet to reach out to the stars, and, like our ancestors before us, we shall carve out homes from this darkness. Yes, we went through the changes that were in the latest patch, along with the Overlord expansion a bit, and created this lithoid species. That's what you've missed so far. Not a whole lot, but if you're interested in that stuff, that will be on the VODs channel sometime later today. Those VODs take a while to process. So for now, we can, of course, grab ourselves some research here. And what do we want to go for here? We probably want to go for... I mean, it's so difficult to pass up getting that just 20% buff right off the bat. It really is. It's incredibly difficult to pass that up. Engineering research right off the bat as well? Okay, we'll just go for that. These are some very, very chunky research times, but that's pretty normal here in 2200. Hello, Rose Valentine. How are you doing? So we're going to head out over this way. There's an Arid World right here, so that's a fantastic... Actually, this is a really good starting point. I really like being at the edge of the galaxy like this, especially when we're in a situation where, for defensibility's sake, we don't know if we have to defend this branch here, but this is a super simple defense. And then out over here, this constellation, this is likely the only connection here. So that is amazing. Physics research, is it even a question? No, it absolutely is not. We are always going to go for this. So yeah, defensibility-wise, this constellation looks pretty good. We're going to head out over this way and start surveying this so that we can get eyes on this Arid World pretty quickly. Now, if we look at our initial, just right off the bat power projection, it is bad. And that's to be expected. We're at 12% here of our empire size. So that's a little bit grim. There's no way that we can really get to this right away in the beginning of the game. I haven't played with the power projection changes from the beginning of the game yet, so that's going to be interesting. The next question, of course, that we need to tackle here is, do we go for the minerals or the energy credits first? I mean, minerals are far more important to us since we're lithoid, and so that's pretty obviously what we're going to go for. No doubt about that. On our capital here, what do we got going on? We have an administrative office, we have a research lab, we have a commercial zone, so pretty standard start there. And of course, we can build unlimited mining districts. I'm assuming that's still limited by the max number of districts. But this is kind of similar to the Aquatics game, where we could build an unlimited number of agriculture districts. For lithoids, we can build mining... Well, not for lithoids, because we're subterranean. We can build an unlimited number of mining districts. So we don't care about food, and we never ever will. So we are never going to be building an agriculture district at all. Unless... Well, that might not be true. Hypothetically, this costs 1 energy credit in upkeep. And it produces 15 food. Well, we can't sell food, so maybe that's not a thing. We also have, well, we do have food storage capacity. But let's go ahead and unpause here. We're going to be playing on fastest speed for now. Excellent, yes. We have a Crown Prince. Cool. That is absolutely fine. Whoa! That was a very speedy hyperspace transit. Okay. Oh, I'm not used to speed 5 being quite that fast. I usually move to speed 5 in the late game, and things get a little laggy. But for now, this seems completely fine. We completed our mining station here. I'm going to play on speed 4, because speed 5 is a little uncontrollable, I think. So we're going to move down and grab our mining station here. And how is our surveying here going? Well, it's going to take a little bit for that to get finished up. So that is absolutely fine. On our capital here, we could get a construction going. We don't really need to. We've got an available job here, and I think we just leave this be until... Well, how long until a pop growth? 26 months. Yeah, that's going to take a while. We are, of course, lithoid, and so we have minus 25% to pop growth. Once you have food in your inventory, you can sell it. Okay, so we're probably not going to bother with that, though. I suspect we're almost certainly going to be better off going for either trade or just raw generation. Will you be playing the same 2 games each stream, or will you do a new mini campaign every day? The answer to that is I'm planning on playing a... well, it kind of depends. We might start a stream campaign at some point where we do a bit more of a long-term play. But this content that I'm doing right here is looking at specifically the new patch and the new DLC, so I'm not too interested necessarily in continuing this specific game. Sometimes that may happen in the future, but I'm definitely planning on having each of the 4 games that we play on the weekend in the streams here to be ideally different games. It's a good idea to do mini campaigns to try out different ideas and for general testing. Yes, I agree. That's kind of the goal here. Absolutely. So our construction ship isn't doing anything, and we'll send it out to Kashmir. I mean, it can't do anything there either, but at least it can be in a slightly more useful location. So we've got ourselves a solar sailor that we found here. An abandoned ship has been left to drift aimlessly above this planet. The massive sails protruding from its hull suggested it relied on solar power to function. That's going to take 136 days to research. We'll come back to that. It's almost certainly going to be better off coming back to it once our scientist here has a... oh, that reminds me. Yeah, I need to do a thing. But once our scientist has slightly higher level, I should definitely queue up a second science ship. That's what I was talking about just now. So let's go ahead and get a second science ship going, especially now that you start with so many more energy credits per month. I think there's no reason not to have at least 2 science ships. We're going to go for 3 here and see how that feels. Like, we're definitely going to fall behind in our construction a bit, but that's fine. Like, I think there's absolutely no reason to have fewer than 3. So we're going to go for this guy. Yeah, they cost a little bit of Unity upkeep, but I mean, we're still making a decent chunk. So that'll be okay. And we'll go for... None of these are particularly good. We'll go for this guy. That'll be fine. And he'll come down and survey Vardavar. That'll be okay. So we're going to be making 14 Unity per month. That's solid. Hey, we found alien life. Fantastic. I'm not going to read through all of those events because I'd like to get far enough in this segment to, you know, vassalize some people and such. That would be nice. So we're going to make our way through here. First contact protocols. So what do we want to do for first contact? We're militaristic, so we should at the very least be cautious. But probably we should be aggressive first contact because we're militaristic. So we'll go with that. That'll be fine. And oh, we found a decent anomaly here. 91 days. That one we're going to research. That one's okay. Hey, we found our progenitors. Okay, so we're doing the Voltam. That'll be fine.
Situation log.
So if we go into the situation log, this is also something that has been changed fairly dramatically as situations here. Now, none of these are actually changed. We're hopefully going to run into some of the changed situations a little bit later on. You can see that this has been a little bit updated, but hopefully we'll run into some of that later on. We found some remnants. Okay, cool. And of course, this is an arid world with 100% habitability. So we're absolutely going to settle that world. And the sooner that we do that, the better. So we're going to build a starbase in Kashmir. Vivisect all species found. I like it. That's a good policy. +3 for minerals. Wonderful. And actually, I hate to say it, I want to make another change to the chat box here. We're going to move it in like 50 pixels, maybe 75, just to make it so that it's not overlapping this here. And maybe move it down ever so slightly too. Overall, I'm reasonably happy with it here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, wonderful. So we'll go ahead and research this. That's absolutely fine. As I said, eventually I'll be happy with the chat box in all of the games, but I'm going to have to figure out where I want it in every single game because each one is different. So that'll be fine. For now, we absolutely want to colonize Kashmir 3. That is incredibly important. We are lacking in the alloys and the consumer goods. Now, we could do something about that. We could buy in a few consumer goods and alloys, and that might not be the worst thing that we do. Let's see, that would be 676. Our consumer goods are low. That's for sure. Like, our consumer goods income. So maybe the first thing that we want to build on our capital here would be a civilian industry. We could do that and then shift around our population here. I think that'll be our best bet. I'd like to shift population perhaps out of technician or maybe even out of clerk. Probably out of clerk and into artisans. So we'll get that going for now. Hey, Society and Physics Research. I like it. And we get our first tradition here. Now, traditions, of course, were pretty dramatically changed, not this patch, but the patch before. You can now adopt the traditions how you want them, and there's a bunch more of them. So we probably want to go for something along the lines of supremacy or domination, perhaps. Or both. We're eventually going to want both. I mean, domination is these days more about conquest, really, than, well, actually not really even that. Just remember to go over the decisions if the chat covers it. Yeah, I don't think it will. I think we'll be okay. I'm reasonably happy with this chat positioning. Reasonably. I might tweak it another time or two, like lower the height of this line or something. But we'll leave it be for now. So I think for now we're going to grab supremacy because we need to be able to actually win wars, right? That's pretty important. So we need to win wars before we can worry about vassalizing people. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That'll be fine. And we're going to also build mining stations over Kashmir to harvest those sweet, sweet energy credits. And we're going to colonize this as soon as we can, but that's going to be a little bit. We're going to have the alloys very, very soon. The civilian consumer goods, that's what we go. Discovery for exploration, gotta find the enemy. Yeah, I mean, discovery is what I usually start with, so I'm kind of staying against that for right now, or rather not doing that for right now. That's what the 3 science chips are for, in all honesty. So we'll go ahead and grab ourselves this. Oh, we don't have enough unity for grabbing this leader yet. Yeah, that'll be a thing because we just took the. Yeah. Oh, actually, hang on a moment. Well, here we go. 172 unity. Okay, well, that's awfully convenient. We're going to go ahead and grab one of these guys. It doesn't matter. None of these are actually good for running a science chip. We'll run this guy. And we'll send him out to Echochromia. This is a tropical world, so that's not a great world for us. It sounds like there's probably a lot of erosion there. But we can see that this constellation is maybe a little bit less defensible than I thought it was, unless this doesn't connect up to anything. And actually, it very well might. It could connect here, but it may well not. In which case, this is a dead end, and that would be really, really good. And this almost certainly connects down this way. So that's potentially a bit of a defensive concern. But this may or may not connect here. So Echochromia is absolutely a defensible point. And this system is likely the other defensible point here. So overall, that's not too bad. We're going to have our civilian industry done here soon. And we can see now that we've gone into Echochromia, this is absolutely another constellation over here. And this likely is. Either way, they both terminate at Echochromia. So that's solid. I'm reasonably content with that. Traditions have become so much better. Makes the campaigns more customizable and enjoyable than before. Supremacy is good. Go for expansion next, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree that the rework to traditions is so good. Like, I'm very happy that they did this the way they did. It's incredible. Very, very pleased. We'll head down this way, and we definitely need to grab Vardavar. Now, we're going to be running a little low on influence, which is part of the reason why we only have the single construction ship. We're going to head down to Vardavar, and we're just going to need to grab what we can here. 136 days on this research time. We're going to leave that be for now. Once we head over here, we should be able to see whether this star system connects to anything or not.
System survey complete.
Echochromia is done. So at this point, we have to make a choice. Do we want to go out this way or do we want to go this way? We know for a fact that this way connects to a constellation that almost certainly branches out multiple directions, right? Just based on the way that the galaxy is laid out and based on the fact that this is basically hexagonal here. Yeah, this definitely branches out. I want to go this direction just to see if this actually connects up to anything. It might. Or it might not. We'll see. We now have enough to colonize here, so we'll go ahead and do so. Kashmir Prime. Okay, and it looks like this... Ooh, an abandoned gateway. We'll get to that in a moment. It looks like this automatically switched the jobs over the way I wanted it. Yes. Yes, it did. That's perfect. So it automatically pulled them out of Clerk and put them into Artisan. I like it. So there's an abandoned gateway in Runa. We'll see how useful that actually is. It might be. It might be useful. Or it might be extremely, extremely unuseful. Until we know more about how the hyperspace lanes are laid out, we'll just have to wait and see. So Vardavar has finished its construction. We'll go ahead and grab the energy credits and minerals here. Cool. So we can see that this connects out over here. This is very likely a constellation up here. It could dead end up here in theory, but almost certainly doesn't. It's very rare that that happens. So what do we want to go for first here? Ship build cost and build speed is probably what we want to go for. I mean, we don't really care too much about ship upkeep and naval cap at this time. We will later. But right now, we don't really have much for ships, so this doesn't do much for us. Overwhelming force, again, ship fire rate and orbital bombardment damage. What ships are we fighting right now? What planets are we bombarding right now? None. So we go for master ship rates. Leave B for now. Gateway trolling incoming, probably. Well, the thing about the abandoned gateway is it requires activation by upgrading the gateway. So if it's not actually going to be useful, then we'll just leave it disabled. That's the idea there. So I'm thinking about where we want to send this construction ship next. I mean, Echochromia is a very important defensive location, but economically, it's not. At the same time, there's this tropical world that has 70% habitability over here. I mean, it's not perfect, but economically, this would be the correct move to head out over here. I think for the time being, we're going to go with the economic build, just because we haven't run into anybody yet. There's all of our technology complete, or not all of it, actually. We are getting quite a lot less engineering research. Well, actually, no, we're not. We got the bonus physics and society from the event. That's right. So let's see here. We could grab energy grids, improved deflectors, or fusion reactor. If we're going to go pretty early aggressive, obviously we go improved deflectors here. Hydroponics farming. That is so unimportant for this particular playthrough. I can't even believe it gave me the option. Naval cap from soldier jobs is not super important right now. It might become important later, but soldier jobs I tend to shy away from. I play Stellaris kind of like I play Europa. If you've got enemies invading your planets, you've got other problems, generally speaking. So I tend to not build fortresses. Off-world trading companies are honestly not amazing here. And let me tweak this audio a little bit here. There we go. Excellent. So off-world trading company isn't great here, but I think it's the best option. It's really not good. Really not good at all. Okay, so this science chip isn't doing anything. We should absolutely send it down over this way. Why is to grab choke points before anyone else? You can always backfill. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. However, I don't think that it's necessary to grab the choke point here. And the reason for that is because we simply don't have anyone that's contesting the choke point currently. So that's why I'm going for the economic play here rather than the choke point play. If there was, say, an enemy empire right here or something like that, I would absolutely go for Echochromia. 100%. I 100% agree with that. As it is, I don't think that that's strictly necessary. Let's head out over this way and see if this... Oh, these connect together. Okay. So this could very easily be a dead end here with the choke point being here. And if so, that would be really good for us. That would allow us to head this direction and grab this choke point pretty easily from the economic play. Okay, it doesn't dead end there. It does connect over here. Good to know.
Growing colony lattice.
Hey, there we go. There's some engineering research. Fantastic. First time catching a stream and you're playing one of my favorite games. Well, other than the technical test stream where everything was broken, this is the first real actual stream, so you're pretty much on time on that one. Soldier jobs are like building ships in Europa. It's an option, but not necessary. I wouldn't call building ships in Europa an option. I would call building ships in Europa entirely unnecessary. Unless it's the Ainu campaign, I suppose. We kind of need them for that campaign. But most of the time, I neglect my navy. Absolutely. We're going to build our structures here to grab our minerals and our physics research. And we actually have enough to colonize this world immediately, and we will absolutely do so. We'll leave that research be for the time being. We'll come back to that when we're a little bit higher level. Do we need anything on this world? We're low on amenities, but that doesn't really matter all that much. Hello, exotic gases. That'll be handy later on.
Research complete.
Okay. So, engineering research from researchers finishes up. That is fine. We could go for coil guns or afterburners here. So, that is kind of a complicated question for what we want to go for. And the reason why I say that is because we can only have corvettes right now. We don't have any other... Convert into mercenary enclave. That button's new. Okay, that's exciting. Because of our warrior culture. Ah, we can turn a fleet into a mercenary fleet. So that's basically like the Europa Condottieri. Cool. So I think we're going to go for afterburners here, specifically because we can only build corvettes at this point. I might be tempted to go for better guns if we could build anything other than corvettes. But afterburners are so good on corvettes because you can bring up that evasion chance.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we got that done. We can see that this actually dead ends here. I did not expect that. I absolutely expected this system to connect down this way. That's a little bit shocking to me. Huh. Well, that means that our choke points are Echochromia and this system here. Fascinating. Well, there's not much economic reason to move this way right now. And, I mean, getting this alloy from the Sapper system and eventually getting exotic gases, that would be really good. But I don't think that we're going to have any real problem grabbing this system. I think just on the off chance that there's an Empire right here that we don't see yet, I think we should grab Echochromia right now. So we're going to head on over there, and we're going to grab that.
System survey complete.
That'll be wonderful. At this point, we absolutely need to head down this direction. I don't think we're going to see any more fill-in over here. We're not going to research a 1,000-day research time for right now. That's not going to happen. Reverse choke point. Yeah, absolutely. A natural wormhole. Wait, where's that? In the... Oh, that's right. It doesn't appear until you actually click this. In the Roxolana system. So that's right here. Interesting. So that wormhole is definitely going to throw a bit of a wrinkle into our defense plans. We don't know where it goes, but we'll see. We'll get that surveyed for now. It will be under our control, almost certainly. Encounter in Echochromia. And... okay. It's a good thing we're heading for Echochromia. This is exciting. They're just passing through, surveying. So that's just a science chip. As of right now, that means that we definitely get Echochromia. So that seems fine. Our gamble paid off.
System survey.
And we're going to keep heading up this way. It definitely connects over here, but we don't necessarily see a connection between here. This could easily be a dead end. So we're going to head over this way and survey. And we absolutely need to head out over this direction and take a look at this choke point out here. Assuming that this actually connects somewhere. We technically don't know that, but I'm pretty sure it does. Okay, so we grabbed Echochromia. That's wonderful. And we should probably actually do this first contact, shouldn't we? That would help. We'll get Bintrix to do that. Cool. And we're going to get that mining station built up. For the time being, we should probably make for this desert world out in Akubans. Especially since Eta aliens definitely have colonization over in Hestimer. So we're going to have a border here. We don't know who they are, but that's going to be real interesting. We're going to immediately grab ourselves perhaps Fleet Logistics Corps. Naval cap increased by 20%. At this stage of the game, that won't do a whole lot, but that will scale up. That said, ship fire rate is probably better for this exact moment, and we're going to have to grab Fleet Logistics Corps in order to get down to war games. And that will make it a lot more efficient, for sure. I think for now we grab Overwhelming Force, and we'll come back to Fleet Logistics Corps.
Growing colony lattice.
We just discovered an archaeological site out in Hojam. Nice. And for the time being, I think we absolutely go for Akubans. So we'll head up over this way. We should probably consider on our capital putting in an alloy foundry at this time, since we know that our border is going to be quite close. And once again, we're going to be pulling people out of the probably commercial zones here in order to run the alloy foundry. Another 1,000-day research time. We'll leave that be. Did you set initial borders to closed? That is a good question. That is a very good question. I should check that. I didn't set that, but did it automatically. First contact protocol is aggressive, but initial border status is open. So we're going to set that over to closed. Thank you for reminding me. There we go. Honestly, with the initial first contact protocol being aggressive, I would have expected that it defaulted to closed, but apparently not. So we've established our colony, Kashmir Prime. That's perfect. First thing we're going to build here would normally... We can build bioreactors? That's exciting. First thing we would normally build here would be some sort of, like, gene clinic. I believe lithoids can't do that. But what we're going to do here is we are going to put in an alloy foundry. That'll be just fine. Remember, every 3 mining districts, we're going to get a building slot. That's weird that they actually put it in as plus 0.34. Nice. So mining districts are going to be very important for us, and they provide us with actually they're housing positive for this start. I really like that. Housing positive mining districts is really useful. I'm used to those being housing neutral. That is really, really useful. That means that you can just spam out the mining districts, and you get like, what? You get 3 building slots for filling these all out. So you get those 3, plus you get the slots for upgrading your planetary administration. And then you'd be able to, you could go for a city district in theory, but you'd have no housing shortage for a good long time. That's pretty solid. I like that.
Construction complete.
Remember to vivisect these guys. Well, first we're going to have to find out what kind of guys they are. we absolutely will go after them, but that'll be a bit. I do want to get our alloys up.
Anomaly found.
Yes, go ahead and research that. That's only 91 days. Housing positive, food, minerals, and building slots from 1 district. Yeah, it's just insane. It is insane. Spacefaring civilization discovered. Yes, we can nab some of them for closer investigation, abduct specimens from their home system since we've located it, and we are going to do so. What could possibly go wrong? Fantastic. We have abducted some of their citizens, and now we're going to head up over here, and we're a little short on our influence there. Ooh, a message in a bottle archaeological site in Roxolana. Okay. We're a little bit short on our influence to grab a Cubans, but we'll keep an eye on that. So we know for a fact that we're going to have choke points out over here, and we're going to have a potential choke point. I mean, Echochromia is a choke point for this constellation, but we don't see any contest for this constellation at this time. That doesn't mean it's not there, but we don't see it. Okay. So for right now, we're grabbing a Cubans, and we're probably going to head out this direction to grab these choke points next. We're kind of going back and forth with our construction ships, which I don't love doing, but I mean, that's the way the priority is working out. And since we're influence negative right now in terms of keeping our construction ship constantly constructing, that's probably something that we want to think about. Now, there is, of course, this world in Nakanda. I'm not too concerned about it at this point because this world is basically guaranteed ours. So I'm not too worried about grabbing it instantly, but I would be interested in grabbing it fairly soon. Okay, we managed to grab them and let the vivisection continue. They will be extremely displeased when they find out. I wonder why. I wonder why they would be displeased about this. They look very dissectable to me. Like, their skin is all soft and spongy. Very dissectable. If they didn't want to be dissected, why would they make their skin that dissectable? I don't get it. I don't understand. We found a bipedal robot floating in space. I don't think I've seen this event before. We could abandon it or scan the robot for +3 minerals. I'm assuming there's a potential follow-up to this if you abandon it. The obvious choice here is to scan the robot. I kind of wonder what happens if you end up abandoning it. Perhaps you get a reward much later in the game. I don't know. We're going to take the minerals for now. Okay, we recharged the robot's power supply. Fantastic.
System survey complete.
Okay, what was that system survey? That was this one out over here. Sounds good. We're going to keep heading over this direction. We see there's a connection out over here.
System geology.
So that's fine. I guess we may as well come down and get this trinary system down here. All looks good. Encounter in Farragon. Okay. So where is that? That's up over here. So that's another first contact. We'll see what we've got there. We'll send Count Dine over to do that. So, I mean, we've got a solid choke point here in Akubans. That's absolutely fine if that ends up being our choke. We'll see what happens there. Strategic resource discovered. Rare crystals. Always nice to find. Where were those? Oh, up in Farragon. Okay, we may or may not end up getting that. For the time being, I think we're to come back to Nakanda And we absolutely want to colonize over here. Oh, asteroid sighted. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so where's that asteroid? That is over here. That is easy to get to. We will eliminate that asteroid. The starbase is actually already on it, and the starbase might finish it. But we're going to come in here anyway. Okay, so I don't think we're actually going to go to Nakanda. Well, maybe we should. I'm just trying to balance our influence gain right now, because I'm thinking we haven't seen anything out over this way just yet, but it's probably there. If we grab Nakanda, Nakanda's the greedy play here, I feel like. It could pay off later, but it absolutely could not pay off later. If we end up losing a choke over here. It's hard to know at this point. We're going to grab the Great Game for damage versus starbases, since we are planning on attacking fairly early. We can research this anomaly anytime we want, so that's completely fine. Scan it like vivisecting other species, you gotta know. It's true. That is indeed the goal here. We do have a first contact event pending here. We get 20 influence, and we get first contact with the Sathwir Harmonious Mandate. That sounds like a vassal to me. They may not know it yet, but that sounds like a vassal to me. They're so soft and fleshy.
Softer life forms.
It is a softer life form. Even the advisor knows. You'll find yourself no match for us. We'll prepare for hostilities. They're not going to be happy about that, but there we go. Fantastic. So we have our ongoing investigation up here, but let's go ahead and tick forward, and yeah, we can see this is indeed the border, as expected. Oh, hey, we got an achievement. Right, because I'm playing on Iron Man for once in my life. Fantastic. So, I mean, this asteroid is going to be destroyed very soon. I'm pretty glad that we decided to send in... Well, actually, that's a long ways away. Honestly, I think that the starbase would have handled it. But I'm glad we sent in the Corvettes regardless. They get a chance to, you know, flex their muscles, stretch their legs. Excellent. So the asteroid is going to die very soon. There we go. One dead asteroid. We get a bunch of minerals for that. We're going to head on back to our capital for the moment. So this is absolutely the greedy play, right? For sure. We can go either this way or we can go this way. They both get us there in the same number of jumps. But this is the obvious more valuable route. So we need to go this direction and then head up this way to Aslan as soon as we can. We can see this splits off into 2 constellations. So that's not bad. I think for now we're going to build our starbase here, and then we're going to start heading over this direction. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to tell this guy to stop and build the starbase here. And then he's going to grab the energy credits, then move on. Okay, so for now, I think we're not too concerned about expanding this direction. I'm reasonably content with our border being Akubans. That'll be fine. We should absolutely come over here. They're currently overwhelming in fleet power. That's because we haven't built any ships. That's fair enough. We fully expect that. I'm going to immediately begin building a spy network in their territory. For this colony here, or rather this colony here, we're going to build an alloy foundry. We're going to want all the alloys we can get our hands on. And we're going to abduct the mysterious spacefarers, of course, as is our MO. Institute of Robotic Sciences, huh? The Drumbeat of Victory Party. I like those guys. Excellent. So we're going to continue working on surveying out over this way. I want to come here to get more information on what's going on here and perhaps here. Sapir is better. Yes, I absolutely agree. Sapir is... This is the clear way to go. So we're going to grab this mining station here. Harmonious. They're unnecessarily begrudging. They absolutely are. Well, right now they're suspicious. They're very suspicious. I don't blame them. They're fanatic pacifists, so they would actually be pretty good vassals. All things considered.
Anomaly found.
We'll leave that be for now. That is a very lengthy anomaly, and we can go either direction here. I don't think it really matters which way we go. This way, I think, is more likely to run into another faction. I don't really have a reason for saying that. I just feel it in my gut. On our capital here, we're definitely going to want more jobs eventually, but now is not that time. We do want to get this colonization happening immediately. There we go. And we'll head out to Sapir as soon as we can. And we'll take these guys down over this way. Research that? Yeah, absolutely. 61 days, do it. We finished up our research on improved deflectors. That is great. We obviously take administrative AI here. That is too good to pass up. An additional 5% research speed? Yeah, we gotta have that. I'd say south, 2 stars gets you the whole constellation. I mean, you're not wrong about that. We're going to be surveying both. I just wanted to survey out this way first, just to see. But we're going to be heading over and surveying this as well. We're not going to be... Ooh, hello! Alien vessels out over here? Okay. So we ran into actual colonized space. Got it. So that's fine. We're going to head back to... Well, actually, are we just... Yeah, we're just missing. That's fine. +4 in minerals. That's good. But yes, I absolutely agree with you. In fact, it's probably 1 star that gets you the whole constellation, specifically this one, because I think that this is a dead end. I do agree that this would be the way to expand into, but I wanted to survey out this way. Sages of the Shroud. This is new. Ah, a visitor. Welcome. We are the Sages of the Shroud. Within this void-born hull, our coven communicates, or rather communes, with forces incomprehensible to most mortal minds. We contemplate the secrets that lie hidden in dreams, reservoirs of untapped potential, the unseen gears driving whole civilizations. The Shroud reveals much to those who would listen. At this moment, I listen to you. What brings you to us? Do you yet know? So we could ask, what is to be our fate? Would you be willing to send us a teacher from your order, or tell us about travel via the Shroud? But we need opinion with them before we can ask that. Interesting. Well, what is our fate? Ah, a momentous query. No less poignant for being asked by so many before you. Such a question carries a heavy price, but we can provide answers. Know this, however. The Shroud allows us to perceive events which have not yet come to pass, and this knowledge shall help guide your course. But it is beyond the power of any one event to alter the turning of the galaxy. If you would strike this bargain, know that your aspirations should extend no further than to be better prepared. But oh, what grand designs may be built upon even the merest glimpse of what is to come. So we could consider something else. We could pay them 50 influence and 600 energy credits. The energy credits aren't a problem. The energy credits are not a problem. The influence, that's a problem. We'll consider something else. Would you be willing to send us a teacher from your order? Mastery of the Shroud is a journey of 10,000 lifetimes. Even our most gifted teachers can claim only partial knowledge of its mysteries. Nevertheless, their wisdom is invaluable. Should you wish it, we will dispatch one to guide your course. So that's the same amount of influence, but more energy credits. It's still not a problematic amount of energy credits, but I don't want to spend influence on that, so goodbye. This became revealed. Ah, so that's where the sages are. Got it, down in Dathana. Okay, sounds good. So let's try this again. We can definitely do that. Perfect. We need a society research. Grants a lump sum of unity and monthly unity plus 5%. That's pretty good, but honestly, I think the pop growth speed right now is better. So we'll take that for the moment. Pay them. Well, I would, but we're very low on influence and we have a lot of systems to claim. We'll probably pay them a little bit later on. We can always talk to them again, right? I'm pretty sure we can. We can just contact them through this. Yeah, we can just do this at any time. So we'll come back to that when we're a little bit less crunched for influence. That'll be fine. Aliens have been captured. Sweet. Let the vivisection commence. Excellent. They are also a bit fleshy. Sounds good. The science ship will head out over this way. The influence cost is bad. However, it will be better later on, I feel. Yeah, I mean, we are going to do it. I don't know what the event is going to do, and don't tell me, because I want to be surprised. We're going to do it, but we're going to wait until we're in a little bit more defensible of a position to do it. That will be the plan. We are absolutely going to pay it, but not quite yet. So I was right. This is a dead end here. It is just the single way out over here. Fantastic. Start first contact with the newly discovered species. It's ongoing. Is there another one that I missed? No, there's only the one first contact here. Yeah, that's ongoing. Okay, so we can grab Fleet Logistics Core instantly, and that's very, very good to happen. The Sin aliens are up over here being, you know, Sin aliens. We're going to make sure to grab all of our mining stations in Sapir because we absolutely want that alloy. It's only 1 alloy per month, but at this point, that's pretty good. We'll happily take that. We are going to need to update our corvettes fairly soon.
System geology.
And to that end, we should probably consider doing that. I mean, there's... Actually, it automatically updates. That is true. Running improved deflectors on corvettes is not great, but afterburners are now done, so we can actually get standardized corvette patterns. That'll be very good. Not telling, just excited. Okay, that's fine. I just don't want to be spoiled. So we're going to head on down over this way.
Anomaly found.
That anomaly is fine to research. This event is pending. Okay, fantastic. So we got our first contact procedure complete. And what do they have? They are hegemonic imperialists. So keep out of our way or we'll make you. They're probably also currently overwhelming to us. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's to be expected. We've not built any ships. To that end, I do want to remove the shields from the Rundy class Corvette. Armor, in my opinion, is just better on Corvettes because you end up giving up quite a lot of evasion, and Corvettes are, in my opinion, better for evasion tanking. So we're going to run afterburners here. We're currently running dual small red lasers and a mass driver. I mean, we pretty much at this point have to choose, right? Between whether we're slightly more shield heavy or slightly more armor heavy in our damage types. So I think for now that's reasonably okay. And yeah, this will do. So we can upgrade these, and that will be done fairly soon. That's only 35 alloys, not a big deal there. We can see that this is a dead end, so we will head out over this way for now.
Ships upgraded.
Excellent. And we will... Oh, wreckage identified. I think the influence is more valuable here. You might want to make a starbase on that Choke Plus planet just in case those guys declare war. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. That is something that I was thinking about doing. I'm just not sure when I want to do it versus increasing the size of our fleet. That's actually exactly what I was thinking about at the moment that came in. So I'm not sure if we want to increase our fleet yet or get the starbase here built. It is something we definitely want to do eventually, and since it does take a while to get the starbase built, we might want to get that started now. That is a good call. So we'll get that done. This one in Echochromia is much less of a big deal because the Harmonious Collective here, they're not going to do anything. They're going to give us 100 influence though, and with that influence, I absolutely want to pay them. So we're going to say, what is to be our fate? And then we will pay these guys because we got the influence that we need. So let's see what we do. The Shroud shivers. It speaks without voice. And in all voices at once. The infinite strands of time that extend from this moment now enter into confluence. Here, in this place, the path ahead grows clear. The rite of divination has begun. So they will retire for a few days in order to commune with the Shroud. Okay, well, we'll see what they're up to. It's been a few days. Oh, hello. So this is one of those new events, Sign of the Locust. Or, not locust. There's no locusts here that I know of. Just a locust. It is the will of the Shroud that the space around you take on new forms. Tread carefully, but boldly, and consider what marvels may lie on the paths ahead. We embrace the Shroud's will by exploring these paths ourselves. The progress of this situation will depend largely on our relations with other empires. For example, Setting our diplomatic stance to cooperative will make it progress faster. Well, it seems to be progressing pretty quickly, if I'm honest. Well, maybe not. Was it just that we had a month tick right away? Yeah, that's what it was. So we're getting 2 monthly progress, and this approach will have no effect. Okay. So they will inform us that the Shroud has grown quiet. Interesting. Well, we'll see what that ends up doing. We found a terraforming candidate. Okay. So we definitely want to continue to proceed out over this direction. We want to get our starbase here built as soon as we can. And these guys here, they need to be sent out somewhere else. So we'll send them up over this way to survey. Actually, this isn't fully surveyed in Real Samat. We should send them there. There we go. And off we go. Psionic Anomaly. Okay, so this is presumably going to potentially progress it. Yes. It gives us an anomaly in echochromia as well. Sensors have detected the emergence of a previously uncharted anomaly. Given the incredible spike in psionic energy registered just before the event, there's almost certainly a connection to the Shroud. Could this be the change foretold by the sages of the Shroud? Probably. We'll see. So that gave us 20 progress. That's 20%. We're under a year away from finishing at this point. Or no, now we're under a year from finishing. Stellaris years are 360 days, I think, if I recall correctly, because they're all months are 30 days. Cloud's Dance. Okay, go ahead and do that. That's 61 days. Not too bad. So how long until this upgrade is complete? Well, that's the colonization. The actual starbase upgrade will be done pretty soon here. Cool. A barren planet? Sure.
Accretion complete.
And there's that starbase done. So first thing we're going to do is grab our mining stations here for the 16 minerals. And the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to definitely put in probably a gun battery and a missile battery. I like to do these fairly generically. So gun battery, missile battery, and then like either a target uplink or a communications jammer. At this stage of the game, probably a target uplink. Weapons range of 50%? I don't know. Combat disengage chance and sublight speed. We could just go for the shield hit points reduction. Now, we don't really know what these guys are using for their ships, so that's a bit of a concern. Ultimately, we're going to want all of these, but we're going to go for the disruption field generator for now, I think. And we could always build defensive platforms as well. We can only build up to 6, but for now, I don't think that's strictly speaking necessary. I would like to go into our fleet interface here and bump this up to 20. There we go. And eventually, we will want to produce those ships for 1,700 alloys. For right now, I don't really want to spend that for the moment, because I'd like to allow our standardized Corvette patterns to finish first for that sweet, sweet 5% build cost reduction. I like Jammer, as it's more likely to kill their ships. Yeah, that's true. We will get the Jammer. That's definitely something that we build. But we'll get there eventually. So this is a lot of things, of course, that we need to build mining stations over here. And our influence is coming up quite a bit. There's been an earthquake in Akuban's Prime, reducing happiness by 5%. Okay, sounds good. This science chip is not currently doing anything. There was a deep sinkhole added, and I don't know if we can actually clear that right now. Do we have the tech for it? No. Okay. Speaking of which, can we clear any of these tile blockers? The answer is no, but probably on our capital we can. Yeah, we can clear tile blockers on our capital. This is all completely fine, with the possible exception of this one, but I think our minerals are still okay. If we run into a mineral crunch, we can cancel a couple of these. Okay, sounds good. So this colony here is currently in need of housing. Well, we know that mining districts are housing positive, so we'll build a mining district. This science chip isn't doing anything. It looks like this constellation terminates up here, so no need to continue there. We're going to head over this way and get more information about this and this. Sounds good. We can see that this heads straight south pretty much. There we go. The sign fades. The Shroud grows quiet. Once more, the weary river of time recedes into its well-worn course. The changes foretold by the rite of divination have come to pass. Go now in awe as you reflect on the workings of the Shroud. Well, consider me in awe of that nothing. I mean, we did actually get an anomaly, right? We got an anomaly in Echochromia. But I don't know what we'll get out of that just yet. We'll see. And the question is, can we run that, like, repeatedly? Presumably we can. Yeah, we can run that repeatedly. So we're probably going to want to continue running that for the time being. I'm thinking about getting a second construction ship. The problem with that would be the influence, but our influence would go up as our naval cap improves. We can now have up to 2 fleets. We should certainly work on getting some corvettes here. And I want to check in on our actual shipyard here. We've got a trade hub here. We should probably replace that with a shipyard. And this is crew quarters, which is fine. We'll keep the crew quarters for the time being. Excellent. So which of these are we going to want to go after? We absolutely go after the fanatic pacifists first, if we get the opportunity to. If we can vassalize them, we can use them against the Confederation over here, and that won't be a problem. 1625 days. That's a level 10 anomaly. That's insane. Well, this construction ship isn't doing anything right now, and that is because we spent all of its all of its minerals. So we can queue up something manually here, and let's just go for Roxolana 1, if we can find the actual construction ship, because that has 6, so that'll be fine. This science ship isn't doing anything and should head down this direction. So we're going to want to push down this way. We'll get information on what's going on with this system in just a moment.
Rolling away from enemies.
Okay, so we encountered someone in Lyceria. This is a space amoeba. No problem there, but that is going to stop us from going this direction.
Construction complete.
And since we can't go this way just yet, and we can't take on the space amoeba just yet, we'll head up over this way and survey. Sounds good. In the meantime, we will continue building up our corvettes. Again, I would like to wait on the engineering, but I feel like we need to actually build corvettes, otherwise we're going to have a problem. So we're doing that instead of waiting. It's not the most efficient, but it's the safer route. So this construction ship here definitely needs to finish up its... Hello. Yes, we're not surprised that they're preparing to declare war on us. But due to lack of intel, it's unclear when it will happen. So this notification here is new. We should definitely try to get some intel on them. So we can build a spy network out over here. We can see that they're down to just superior to us in terms of ships already. And that's very good to know, considering we've only built, like, what, 7 ships? It's not too bad. We could even buy in additional alloys if we wanted to right now. We could buy 250 for 1417. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do it one more time. We'll leave that be for now, and then we're going to use that to continue to reinforce our fleet. We just need to get those fleets built up as quickly as we can for the time being, because we know for a fact we're going to run into problems with these guys if we don't. So that will be necessary. That's a nice warning to have, though. I like it. Research speed plus 5% finishes up. We can grab basic combat rolls, and that will be fantastic. Now, looking at this station, how powerful is this station at this time? We have it fully built up, other than the defense platforms, of course. So, I mean, it's 877. They would be able to get through it, but we should start moving out over this way just to be on the safe side. And we can grab war games here as well, allowing us to get now a much larger fleet. Okay, so Magonid Enterprises, huh? Respect our authority or else. We don't know where they're at exactly, but we can get an Ascension perk. And what do we want? Lord of War would get us diplomatic weight from fleet power and mercenary enclave capacity, as well more frequent dividends. I'm not too concerned about that right now. We're not really going super hard after mercenary, I feel like. I would usually go with like technological ascendancy. That's incredibly good to get early. And honestly, our options are pretty limited here. Like, available envoys, I don't really care too much about that. Transcendent learning, kind of irrelevant right now. Edicts funds, are good, but we aren't really running much for edicts right now, and that may change later. But empire size from planets, that would become important later in the game as we expanded. Clear blocker cost, that's honestly, I think, really bad. I mean, the mastery of nature is good, but the clear blocker cost isn't. Because that gets done super quickly. Like, the mastery of nature is nice. More districts on planets are good, but it can only be done once per planet. And ultimately, I don't think that's the biggest of deals. One vision is good a bit later on, I think. Once you start running into problems with your amenities and once you start conquering things, I think that's pretty decent. But overall, we could grab Starbase Influence cost, but I don't think that's necessary either. The Technological Ascendancy, I think, is the way to go. I think that's the only thing that is a good option here. Yeah, Tech Ascend always. I strongly agree. I strongly agree. So we'll go for that and set the station as a home base. Yeah, absolutely. That is a good call. I should do that. So we'll set that as the home base. There we go. And we are going to continue reinforcing this fleet, but for now we need to go into here and we can now reinforce that up to 40. So that's good. We finally finished up over here and we'll grab a Vagamar. And that does mean that we have this constellation on lockdown now. So that's good.
System survey complete.
Okay, we'll head up over this way and survey. This survey is done, so we'll head up over here. Pretty soon, we should start going back and doing some of these anomalies. But we're not quite to that point yet. We haven't run into anyone out over here, which is a little surprising.
Anomaly found.
These guys rivaled us. Fair enough. We'll rival them right on back. Done. Intel is falling, and is that going to continue to be the case? Already has a Spy Master assigned. Yeah, we need to go to the Espionage tab. So, infiltration level is increasing, but our intel is falling. Got it. So there's a derelict ship. We'll deal with that eventually. For right now, I'm not too concerned about it. But I want to check in on these guys. We're now equivalent to them. So I think it's pretty unlikely that they're going to try to declare an offensive war on us. Pop growth speed is in now. Oh, we do have access to gene clinics. Great. We'll get those started. Now, I would like to look at some of these newer colonies and get alloy foundries in on those as well. We're lacking in some minerals for that one, but we'll get those soon enough. This construction ship needs to definitely be building mining and research stations, but it'll take us a little bit to get the minerals for that. All in all, we definitely do seem to need additional minerals. We're going to cancel this lithoid monolith for now, and then we'll build that, and then we will go ahead and get those alloy foundries going. Cool. Pulsating stars, huh? Or we could just get Unity. And honestly, the pulsating stars, I've always had this show up as just a mistake. I've never actually won this event, so I'm just going to take the Unity this time for now. And we'll head down over this way. This requires what kind of ship? Science. Okay, yeah, we should definitely do that. I queued it up after the survey.
System survey complete.
So that'll be fine. And we are lacking in a job on this planet for right now. We should absolutely go with a mining district here. Hey, 264 society research. I like it. So we're going to head down over here. We are continuing to get ourselves alloys. And we want to continue to reinforce this fleet. These guys are now inferior to us. The main problem is if we declare, these guys, I have a feeling, are going to counter-declare on us. I want to declare on these people over here, and specifically, we're going to have to propose subjugation. Actually, would they agree to this? Suspicious attitude. Fair enough. So that's new loyalty, and then that's new loyalty monthly from terms. They could have independent diplomacy, in theory, but they have a suspicious attitude, so they're never going to agree to this right now, right? So what we would need to do is we would need to improve relations with them, in theory. We would drop our spy network here and improve relations with them. We might be able to peacefully vassalize these guys and then go after these guys militarily. That would be a better play, I think, if we could do that. So in Asland, we are going to definitely get ourselves some stuff there. Okay, that now has a automated shipyard over here that we would need a construction ship. That's fine. This construction ship will queue up mining stations. And then the science ship is going to go out over this way. This science ship will survey the system. Yes. Well, not 1,000 opinion, actually. Being sus is not 1,000 opinion. Being sus is minus 1,000 reasons for agreeing to subjugation. There's a difference there. Their actual opinion of us is minus 244. Which, I mean, might have something to do with the vivisection. Now that I think about it. Surely it doesn't. We're going to continue to reinforce our fleet here.
Anomaly found.
That is absolutely researchable. That's an Arctic world, but it's a size 21. Not too bad. I think we absolutely want to make a run down to Velderam for our, not our colonization, for our star bases here. I think that's absolutely the way that we go there. An odd factory, huh? We'll demolish it. Trade with them for more trust. That is a good call. That is absolutely a good call. You can trade with them for more trust. This is true. So, for example, we would be able to trade them, like, we could just give them a bunch of our spare energy credits that we don't care about. So, if we were to give them, I don't know, like 1,000 energy credits, what would that actually end up getting them, or getting us in terms of opinion? We'll just toss it at them. And that brings it to minus 615. Last month it changed by plus 4. Oh, that was these guys. I gave it to the wrong people. I'm dumb. Okay, so we're going to hop over here and give it to these guys. We luckily don't really care too much about the actual energy credits. This is fine. So we'll just toss them over. The vivisection is their fault for being so squishy. It's true. It absolutely is. So they're down to minus 239 now, and that's okay. We're improving relations here, and they owe us favors as well. So that'll all be good, and they accept the trade deal, as expected. So now that those trade deals have gone through, minus 198. Okay, so yeah, that's positive. Engineering research here, we could grab mining station output. That feels pretty good. Minerals from jobs is pretty good too. Coil gun is pretty good too. This is the problem I have with early game Stellaris. I always want to focus super heavy on the economy. And I'm always like, well, it'll be more efficient to go to war in 10 years. And then 10 years later, I'm like, well, it'll be more efficient to go to war in 15 years. That's how I always am with early game Stellaris. But I'm trying to actually go to war here fairly soon. So that'll be a thing. We definitely want to bring their opinion of us up. When will they move out of suspicious? Let's see if this pop-up will go away. It's the extended tooltip here. Okay. So we're neutral relations right now. We need to get to positive 300 for that. Last month it changed by 0. Okay. That's interesting. Well, we're going to continue to head down over this way. And that'll be absolutely fine. I just realized that we are getting fairly close to the break period. I haven't gotten as far as I wanted to in Stellaris. So today we might continue playing Stellaris in the second half. I'm not sure yet, but that might be what we end up going with. Because, yeah, I definitely feel like we haven't gotten far enough because I want to vassalize at least one of these before we call it quits on this particular stream. So that'll be the overall plan there. But fairly soon, I'm definitely starting to feel a little bit parched. So fairly soon on the old break. So why being a lithoid is good. Hard to dissect a rock. Yes, I definitely agree with that. 358 physics research. That is great. We do have these Zeta aliens that we don't have anybody working with. I also don't want to work on this right now. We'll get back to that soon enough. We have a bit of a lack of envoys, and that is a choice that I made. But that is definitely a bit of a problem right now. We don't have enough envoys for it. And I feel like our 2 envoys are better used over here right now. So this science ship needs to make its way down over here. There we go. And this one can actually make its way up over this way, I guess. That'll be fine. Where's that enemy fleet at? Okay, down here. Sounds good. No problem there. The construction ship will continue moving down this way. We absolutely want to get to Velderom, but we know, at least for now, that the space amoebas here are going to make it difficult for them to push through Lyceria. So we're not in the biggest of rushes down this way, but we could definitely move a little faster. I do think that we probably want to think about getting ourselves another construction ship at this point. Now that we're getting +5 influence per month, I think that'll be pretty solid. This colony requires housing, so a mining district it is. The fact that those are housing positive is just crazy to me. That is insane. Absolutely crazy. So I'm really not concerned about defending Echochromia. We're really not going to be attacked by the fanatic pacifists. That said, they have a shroud tunnel here, or that's not their shroud tunnel, but this is a gateway icon. I wonder if any gateway can connect to that. That's an interesting question, I think. But we'll make our way down over towards Uflau as soon as we can. And we can grab ourselves another tradition. Exploration is a pretty good one to, or rather, expansion is a pretty decent one to go for. Especially since we're not seeing a lot of contests down over this way. So I think we'll adopt expansion. There we go. Cool. So yeah, we just have a couple more places to grab over here before this entire constellation is under our control. This construction ship finished. We're actually going to go grab Shulmak. I'm not going to put too much effort into defending Shulmak, but we'll grab it just for the bonuses there. What civics, ethics, and origin are you? Okay, so we went with the Subterranean Origin, and we are, if I can remember where to actually see it, there we go. We are Militarist, Fanatic, Materialist, and we are Mining Guild and Warrior Culture. Our primary goal here is to subjugate somebody to see how the vassalization system works in the Overlord DLC. So that's the overall concept there.
Rocket new tech.
Basic combat rolls. Fantastic. Automatic surveying is really, really handy right now, so we don't have to manually run these science ships. That would be nice. We're going to continue to head down this way until we run into anybody that we can't really deal with. Or, you know, until we run into borders of some type. That would be nice to know what our actual border down here is. But for now, it all seems to be good. Alien mural that can be translated. We'll come back to that later. And Akuban's Prime currently requires some housing, so we'll build a mining district since we are mining positive out of that. Or rather, housing positive out of that. Excellent. So that is all fantastic. Things are looking good here. If we look at the Harmonious Mandate, they're currently equivalent to us. They are now... they're still suspicious. Last month it changed by +1. Okay, we're only making +5 energy credits per month right now. Oh, they grabbed this. That's fine. It was always cheeky to grab Shilmak. That's completely okay. We're going to build mining and research stations over here. That can be researched, no problem. And that construction ship will be back eventually. Look at these minerals. This is suspicious. This is very suspicious.
Rolling away from enemy fleet.
Okay, what did they have there? Alien vessels, 560? Yeah, they were absolutely construction trolling. I was seeing if I could grab it first. We couldn't. That's fine. I'm not concerned. We're going to head over here and grab the 3 physics research, I think, next, and then we're just going to start filling in gaps with this construction ship. It's going to be more important that we run this construction ship, but we can fill in gaps with excess influence for now. But this right here, this is very suspicious to me. If we colonize this, I think that we're going to see an enemy spawn there.
System survey complete.
Zeta aliens. Ah. Okay, space amoebas running around over here. That's fine for the moment. An insidious plot. Credible hints that the Sathwir Harmonious Mandate are plotting to deceive us. We have no exact details of the apparent scheme yet, but it is said to involve manipulation of our existing relationships, undermining agreements of trust in our very way of lives. So this is coming from the Confederation over here. And I kind of don't want to believe them. Okay, so borders are currently open to these guys, I think. But if we were to do this, they wouldn't accept this because of that suspicious attitude, right? So that is absolutely a bit of an issue there. Minus 253. Last month it changed by minus 80, yeah. A pentagram of minerals being sus. How dare you think so? Well, it's not the minerals that are sus. It's that I've seen that event before.
Construction complete.
Okay, so we're going to head out over towards Velderon, as we said. And then after that, I think we go for Nunki. We do get a new society research here. I think we grab planetary unification for right now. That'll be fine. And that'll get us a good amount of unity there. So yeah, this all looks pretty decent for the time being. I do want to get these guys' opinion of us up a bit. That is for sure. So what can we do about that? What can we actually do? We don't want to harm relations, I can tell you that. I do want to improve relations with them. We can offer them additional trade deals if we wanted to, but we're kind of lacking in resources for that at this exact moment. This construction ship can definitely build its research station here, and this science ship can proceed over this direction. Interesting that this kind of cuts off over this way, and then this is the only connection. That's quite a solid choke point there. We'll head over here and see what we can find. This colony requires housing, which means a mining district. This science ship requires orders, which would be... I mean, these guys are being jerks. We're pretty much going to have to send our combat ships over here to eliminate the space amoebas. This construction ship can head over this direction. We can just go to Plov for right now. That'll be fine. And this construction ship is going to build its research stations around Moscat, and we'll head up over to Alpheka. Sounds good. You should play it like you don't know the events. I mean, I am, but I'm also pretty sure I know what's going to happen here. I'm not going to let that stop me from settling it, but I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen here.
Anomaly found.
Go ahead and research that. That said, I've also had this, or not this one, I've also had this not spawn it. So there's a possibility that it won't, but it is a little bit sus. So this science ship here requires orders, but it can't get anywhere for the time being. So we're just going to tell it to maybe start researching one of these anomalies. Like, how long would this anomaly take it to research? We're pretty under-leveled for it still. We should head over and research like this level 3 anomaly. Okay. So we'll do that. What do we got up over here? Mining drones. Okay. That's fine. We will go ahead and not work on that for the moment. Yeah, not a huge concern there for the time being. I do want to continue to get this reinforced. So this fleet is actually at full strength right now. That's excellent. And we can start up another smaller fleet, which will go ahead and get a Corvette going there. Did I queue that? Well, now I definitely did. Okay. This construction ship is going to build mining and research stations here and then head into Nunki. And this science ship, it can continue to head elsewhere, but we know we need to clean up some stuff over here. So we're going to send it over this way. Wonderful. That is absolutely fantastic. We do need, like, Corvette hull points. That's a really solid passive buff to our Corvettes, so we'll take that. Abandoned gateway where? That's in the center of the galaxy. It's not actually... Okay, it's in Larkin's Singularity. That's an L gate there. Okay. That's going to make things a little interesting that that's the closest L gate to our capital. Well, we'll go ahead and defeat these space amoebas. And we'll just check out some of these other locations. I would like to get some of these projects done, specifically this debris. I think after we're done investigating this, we're just going to come down and research like that. It's not super efficient, but that's okay. Society and engineering research, always nice. And that finishes up automatic surveying, which is very useful for us. Colony development speed would have been nice a long time ago, but I mean, I guess it's okay right now, but I think we're going to go for blue lasers instead. Since it's looking like we're probably going to have to actually attack these guys, I don't think that they're going to get unsuspicious of us after that small vivisection incident. I realize that it's not a big deal, but they're making a big deal out of it. So we're going to go ahead and... Wait, I just set those to passive instead of turning on automatic surveying. There we go. This construction ship is going to continue to build. And we'll come on down to Figazar. Wonderful. So yeah, I'm absolutely feeling right now like we shouldn't stop playing Stellaris, even though the break is imminent. I'm going to have to take a break here pretty soon. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a break right now. And we'll be back in a few minutes, and we will continue this particular game. So I will be back in just a bit. Oh, and for the record, I am aware that the animation in the background of this doesn't loop well. You'll notice that. I'm in the process of making a new one, but the render times are extreme. As I said, I'll be back in a bit.